Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we are looking at a monumental shift in national security that's honestly flying right under the radar. But, guys, it is about to completely change the geopolitical map. We're talking about the ultimate border vibe check, India's brand new, high-tech smart border project. Okay, let's dive right into this, because the sheer scale and the tech involved here absolutely mind-bending. When I first looked at the numbers and the strategic shift happening behind the scenes, my mind was literally blown. This isn't just some minor policy update, it's a top-tier topic that is going to reshape the region's geopolitical future for decades to come.
But first, I gotta ask you a question, and I want you to really think about it. When you hear about illegal immigration and border crises, who actually has the bigger problem? The US or India, right? In the US, it is constantly the main character of their news cycle. It dictates their economy, it drives social debates, and it quite literally decides elections. Like Donald Trump famously campaigned on building a wall and deporting illegal immigrants. It's always front and center. But in India, well, historically, it hasn't really been the centerpiece of election campaigns in that exact same highly publicized way. Yet, the reality on the ground paints a completely different, incredibly complex picture. And this single number brilliantly illustrates why. 14,000 kilometers. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the massive scale of India's total land border. We're talking about navigating freezing glaciers, dense, completely unregulated jungles, and scorching, uninhabitable deserts. Managing a perimeter this huge, it's a logistical nightmare and basically a constant geopolitical tightrope walk. You can't just slap a wall across 14,000 kilometers of highly volatile geography. No way. It's an absolute mic drop number that completely changes how we need to look at South Asian security and the sheer administrative undertaking of protecting a sovereign nation. Now, if we look at the ultimate global land border flex, it really puts things into perspective. China and Russia kind of tie for #1 on the global stage. They both share borders with 14 different countries. Insane, right? Then you have Brazil, and coming in at #4 globally is India. India directly shares its land borders with 7 distinct countries. And remember, because Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is legally Indian territory, that technically includes a border with Afghanistan too. So you're looking at 7 different diplomatic relationships, 7 completely different terrains, and 7 different security protocols that the government has to actively manage, literally 24/7. But to understand the true gravity of this situation, we need to zoom in on the absolute most sensitive stretch of that 14,000 kilometers. Out of the entire perimeter, there is a highly volatile 6,000-kilometer stretch that demands immediate attention. This is the border shared with Pakistan and Bangladesh. This specific 6,000-kilometer stretch is the main character of today's analysis, because it is currently the source of some of the absolute most complex and draining security challenges the nation faces. It is the hotspot where theory actually meets reality on a daily basis. So what exactly are we dealing with here? Well, the core threats are severe and they are unrelenting. From the Pakistan side, we regularly see highly organized attempts at militant infiltration and terrorism. From the Bangladesh side, there's a continuous, heavily documented flow of illegal infiltration. Then obviously you add cross-border smuggling into the mix. In a developing nation, gatekeeping these borders isn't just about defense, it's about protecting the resources meant for citizens. You simply cannot have a functioning state if anyone can just bypass legal visa processes, cross over, and tap into the country's infrastructure. It extracts a heavy economic toll that holds the entire nation back. Which brings us to a massive W from the government. Addressing the Border Security Force, the BSF, Home Minister Amit Shah made a definitive official declaration. He said, "In our 60th year, we will launch the Smart Border Project to make the Bangladesh and Pakistan borders impenetrable." Guys, this isn't just standard political rhetoric meant to hype up a crowd. It's a binding directive that gives the BSF unprecedented technological backing. It marks a fundamental, permanent shift in how the nation views its perimeter. They are finally moving away from legacy systems to something truly next level. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding the difference between traditional fencing and a smart border. The era of passive defense, that's officially over. Just throwing up a wire fence and having guards patrol it in jeeps is simply no longer enough to stop modern, highly organized infiltration. Smugglers and militants have adopted, right? They cut wires, they dig tunnels, they find blind spots. A physical fence is basically a 20th century solution to a 21st century problem. If your borders aren't respected, the very concept of citizenship kind of loses its meaning. To enforce zero infiltration, it is time for a major tech flex. Let's break down the shiny new tech specs that are going to make this border impenetrable. We are talking about a highly interconnected, high-tech arsenal here. It includes thermal imaging cameras, advanced ground sensors, unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, and sophisticated radar systems. But the real game changer, the magic isn't actually in the individual tools themselves. It's that all of this feeds directly into a central command center running AI video analytics. It stitches all this scattered data into a single omniscient view, allowing the border force to literally see the unseeable in real time. Okay, let me paint a picture of how this actually works on the ground. Picture a nighttime infiltration attempt, which, by the way, is when the majority of these illegal crossings happen. Step 1. Long before they even reach the physical fence, thermal cameras spot their heat signatures in pitch darkness. Step 2. As they approach, ground sensors literally vibe check their footsteps. This is critical because over a 4,000-kilometer border with Bangladesh, the BSF needs to know exactly how many people are approaching so they can deploy the precise amount of force. Step 3, within seconds, drones are instantly deployed, giving the command center a real-time 360-degree POV. The BSF is alerted instantly, completely neutralizing the element of surprise.
And when you look at this globally, you realize India isn't just making this concept up out of nowhere. This is the modern gold standard. If we benchmark this against the global heavyweights, we see everyone is upgrading. Israel has built incredible smart borders, specifically around Gaza and the West Bank, even using underground sensors to detect tunneling. The U.S. has deployed a virtual wall on the Mexico border, featuring ground sensors, camera towers, and Aerostat blimps. China? They use intense mass surveillance and AI facial recognition, especially around Tibet and the Indian border. So by comparison, India is actually just playing catch-up to the rest of the world's elite defense frameworks. But behind the security protocol itself is a highly lucrative economic ecosystem. Securing borders is big business. Defense tech contractors like Anduril and Palantir make literally billions of dollars building these exact smart ecosystems for governments all around the world. Upgrading 6,000 kilometers of volatile terrain with this level of cutting-edge technology is going to result in astronomical contracts and billions of dollars changing hands. It's an entirely new industry booming right before our eyes, blending Silicon Valley-style tech with hardcore national security. Which naturally brings us to the most sobering question of all. Who actually pays for this massive W move? I mean, it sounds absolutely incredible to have an impenetrable, high-tech, drone-patrolled border that stops illegal immigration right in its tracks. Everyone wants safety and security, for sure. But nothing in geopolitics or defense comes for free. Someone has to foot the bill for this monumental shift in infrastructure. And here is the harsh reality check. This is going to cost billions of dollars. And as the government's expenditure on this colossal, multi-year project increases, that burden ultimately falls straight onto the taxpayers' shoulders. We are likely looking at the potential for higher taxes in the future to fund this level of elite, zero-infiltration security. It's the ultimate trade-off, right? Elite-level security requires elite-level funding. It's just the harsh truth of modern geopolitical defense. You can either have a porous border for cheap or a smart border for billions. So the crucial point we end on today is this. Is this billion-dollar smart border the right priority for the country right now? Do we accept the steep financial cost and potential tax hikes to permanently secure our resources from illegal immigration and infiltration? Or do you believe those billions should be prioritized elsewhere, in a rapidly developing nation? It's a heavy geopolitical debate with no easy answers. Think about it and let that question sit with you as you analyze the news going forward. Thanks for figuring this out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next deep dive.